Although, I mean, I do think that WestL does have the time to kind of, reevaluate what's going on with the game because they've already lost to Vince. So it could be, their time to think about what to do and adapt their strategy a bit. All right,
absolutely.
WestL starting to build up with a nice LST here. Back-to-back 3, 4, but breaks it due to Vince's pressure here. Vince, on the other hand, though, nice down-stack combo sent over to WestL. WestL trying to find a little bit of a spike here. Vince needs this down-stack combo to hit. If they want to cancel. Cancel they do. Continuing to stay in the game here.
Yeah, Vince hanging on by a thread on several of those down stacks against WestL's pressure, but now WestL's stack kind of getting the better of him.
Oh, but it doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah.
That was close.
That was some simultaneous misdrop mayhem right there, and Vince, fortunately, the one who had to garbage out of his queue when that happened, and there we go. Vince doing a bit of a late start there. It might have been a bit laggy for him, but either way, going to be left with a lot of incoming garbage and not a lot of options, but that 11 combo is going to do wonders for survival. And now, both players are sitting on a ton of clean.
Oh, WestL, speaking of clean, at the top of the board, a little too much clean for them to handle, as VINCEHD goes for the punish with their strong back-to-back 10. Yeah, like I mentioned before, clean garbage is definitely a weapon you can use in your arsenal here, but if it's all the way to the top of your board, you have to make a decision fast.
Alright, there's the dot cannon PC into the margarine. Unfortunately, opts to not take the TSD there, and that may cost WestL dearly, because that is giving Vince free lines to send back to you twice as strong. 3-0
no, it's not looking
VINCEHD.
good for WestL in the first 3 rounds here. Vince with a little bit of a looming lead. WestL needs to find some momentum if they want to come back here. SDPC from WestL finds a PC into DPC, and Vince was unable to downstack out of that. I believe that their T was a little bit too far in queue. Yeah, WestL definitely happy to be on the board. Going for another SDPC here. Let's see it, and they do hit the PC into DPC here, but Vince is able to cancel the loop very effectively.
Yeah, got that line there. Not going to be able to follow up with any more PC shenanigans, but definitely going to be able to follow up with some more back-to-back as they're doing right now. Unless Vince has something to say about it. Insane pressure coming out. That was almost just like straight up a 40 spike off the rip, but Vince still not going to be able to take out WestL with that. Another 29, another 45
There's
though.
no way
and
WestL wins this. Oh my
alive,
god.
but not quite after the 14 finisher.
Yeah, I will say that WestL survived a lot longer than I expected there. Just a masterful use of canceling, timing, and all of the above there. Although this misdrop on WestL's board is probably not looking great for them right now. Very nice transition into some T-spins though on WestL's side. I really enjoy that. What I also enjoy is Vince's way of canceling, going, oh no, into the misdrop! WestL looking for the punish, and they do hit it, bringing another point that's much needed to WestL's side here.
Yeah, in some earlier sets, we saw that people could get away with maybe 1 or 2 mistakes if they downstack fast enough. Not here. Every single Mino counts. And if you make a single mistake like Vince just did, that is all they're going to need. Wait, a crazy combo from Vince may prove me wrong almost immediately, though, because WestL is going to need more DPCs than that. Although, more DPCs he does have, and at 5.5 PPS. So that's going to be enough to bring it up to 4-3. And what was a huge lead is now an almost even game.
Oh, PC's coming from both players. WestL going for the DPC here, seeing if they can find the rest, but they can't quite get the downstack in time as VINCEHD pushes them right to the top here. Oh, WestL's trying to open up here. They do have the well, but Vince's back-to-back 11 is looking extremely scary for WestL, who's trying to find a little bit of cancel in order to combat Vince's looming offense.
Double quad though, and Vince makes some misdrops. That's all he needs. 4-4. WestL has tied it up. Vince is looking a lot shakier than before. You've got to wonder if the nerves are finally starting to get to him now that WestL has flipped the script on this momentum and has finally taken, oh my god, I was going to say 3 rounds in a row, but it looks like it's going to be no more after some very rough misdrops from WestL.
Huge fractal from VINCEHD, clearing out the round for them. I noticed that Vince they didn't take the T-spin double and went for a T-spin single to set up for even more back-to-back.
Ooh, WestL waiting there, clearly trying to build up some back-to-back.
Yeah, the 22 spikes from Vince, back-to-back and back. A lot of spikes coming out from both players, but Vince's misdrops again are spelling disaster. And WestL finally ties up the game with Vince.
Also, I'd like to point out Vince is currently in the Twitch chat. as
Oh,
he
yeah, that's
is
true,
playing the
that's
set. Shoutouts. Oh my, Japanese TKI into die streaming. Shoutouts.
Yo, die streaming, we
But that's
love
going
that
to be
guy.
That's going to be 5-6 WestL taking the lead, and maybe Vince needs to stop looking at the stream and start looking at a way back into this match, because WestL has been on a tear recently.
Yeah, it's definitely sending a message over to Vince, you know, I'm WestL, I'm someone you gotta take seriously in this game, and I'm gonna send you everything I've got for this. But yeah, speaking of that, 4.4 PPS from WestL is not gonna be enough to cancel out Vince, or is it? Oh no, that's way too much garbage. The bar is completely red on WestL's side, and Vince ties up the game.
All right, and here we go, tied up once more. Neither player able to get a huge lead over the other, and now we're seeing again this TKI from Vince into another TSD, getting started on some huge clean garbage early, but again, Vince just misdropping more than we've seen so far. WestL, though, making some misdrops of his own. You can tell both of these players are absolutely feeling the heat of what this match means, and WestL seems to be dealing with it so well so far, actually, making some great fixes that converted super cleanly into some back-to-back, and that is going to allow him to take the lead back once more, 7-6 WestL.
Yeah, I will say that VinceHD's misdrops are looking really rough for them this round. They're gonna have to find some way to either circumvent it or just stride faster to get out of them. I'm not actually sure, but we'll see how Vince deals with that. Speaking of Vince, though, Vince is pushed up to the top of the board, but a lot of attack sent over to WestL means it's going to be a back-and-forth game until WestL misdrops here. Oh, they need the cancel, but they're not able to find it in time, and VinceHD tying it up yet again. They are neck and neck, folks. It is a close game here for our grand finals. WestL really needs this, though.
This is as good as it gets for either player. Vin's going to get that TKI PC, but that's going to introduce so much clean to WestL's board. The TST tower coming out.
Oh
Vince
my
does not have
God.
a response, and that's going to be it. WestL takes back the lead, 8-7.
Absolutely ridiculous play from WestL. You need a lot of confidence to pull off a TST tower in that situation, but they do have the chops for it, and they're showing it off right now.
And here we go again. WestL starting to build up a lot of back-to-back ×5 already, but Vince has so much clean garbage. Just needs the speed to access it, and access it he will. Gets that 25 strike multiplier, becomes 31. A huge down stack for sure, but WestL not out of it yet. That eye misdrop, though, unfortunately going to change that up, and it is 8-8.
I will say WestL's board state was really rough there, and their Q wasn't looking good for them. But going into a PC from both players, WestL hits a second, and Vince does too as well. Third from WestL, and Vince is the one receiving the garbage, unable to continue PCing. Like WestL, going into Jigsaw, one line of garbage is going to stop WestL's PC onslaught, but it seems like both players do have a lot more to say.
WestL, I saw that Finn. Why? That was so unnecessary. That was so
It was
not
for the
even
fans,
close to
Bad
the
Goblin.
cleanest
He was
option.
doing it for the fans.
Shout outs to the fans, shout outs to the folks at home, the WestL fan club in the flesh, and they are going to be eating good tonight, seeing how well WestL is playing against one of the best in the world, absolutely holding his own, and it is tied up 8-8 right now, but neither player wants that scoreline to stay, and we're going to see who can do it first, as WestL sends over a 20 spike, another 5, builds up this back-to-back ×5 almost instantly, and that is 200 APM in the mid-game. Ridiculous stat line for WestL, and that's what you need to bring it up to 9-8.
Yeah, Vince was hungry for lions, but WestL really bought the buffet over. A little bit too much for Vince to eat right there. Alright, WestL, big ass misdrop, and VinceHD goes for the immediate punish.
Literally,
tying up the game
beginning
yet
of the
again. I
game,
can't even count how many
one
times it's been tied
minor
up.
misdrop,
Oh my
instant
God.
death.
Okay, both players stacking up yet again. WestL, big C-spin sent over to Vince, but it's all clean in an I-know stack for VinceHD to capitalize on here.
Alright,
Yeah,
and
very nice
WestL
try.
is... Oh, I was about to say WestL's sitting pretty, and then I saw that what Vince was cooking up, but right as I say that, WestL responds in kind with a huge amount of pressure, and this is just 200 APM back and forth. WestL brings it to 10-9. Vince needs to bring it to deuce. We will get into first 2 twos then, but unfortunately, that's going to require getting that game first. Vince not going to find the solve on that gray system, and now WestL's in the DPC zone. Vince cannot let this happen. This could spell demise, and Vince going to actually luck out there as WestL made an unfortunate misdrop that really just took him out of the loop, quite literally. And
super
that's going to
unfortunate.
result
WestL had a
in...
lot of pressure, but as soon as that loop broke, it went straight back to an even game between both players. Although WestL seems to be coming on top with a back-to-back 11. Vince pushed the top of his board, trying his best to get out. WestL unable to keep up the pressure, unfortunately. And Vince pushing WestL to the top of the board. A lot of cheese for WestL to dig through, but they dig through masterfully. And both players are even yet again.
Oh, but Vince covers as well! And that could be what WestL needs. Still finds a down stack, manages to open it up with a 6 combo, waited a bit to accept some of that clean garbage to be ready to cancel with. And now Vince has got this sort of 3-wide setup, manages to combo it down into the quad all the way down. WestL was unequipped to handle it, and it is a deuce. 10-10. It is now win by 2.
Absolutely insane. Both of these players have to be stressed out beyond belief right now, but they're not letting it show. WestL going for the dot cannon, sending over multiple T-spins to Vince, although Vince has a lot of cancel in order to counteract that.
Oh, WestL has this sort of fractal setup, but Vince, unfortunately, not going to have anything ready to cancel with, but responds in kind with a huge counter spike, and WestL was unequipped to handle that one. Vince honestly could have been going for PC there. You saw that he ended with that only eyepiece missing Quadwell, but that is going to be 11-10 nonetheless, and now it is WestL who crucially needs this game. Both players going to have very similar builds, except that Vince has to contend with this huge misdrop, and another misdrop on the T-piece. This is WestL's time to shine, and shine he is. This is 200 APM, but will it be enough? Vince manages to find a way out with that TSS skim, and WestL now going to have to reset back-to-back broken and back to being in the mid-game of this match. We'll have to see how he decides to adapt to Vince responding so well with these counter spikes.
Yeah, WestL did an amazing job cleaning up their board, going for even more attack, back-to-back 3. WestL does have the slight advantage for the back-to-back, building up a T-spin triple. Oh my god, there's no way. WestL goes for a huge T-spin and ties up the game, removing Vince's advantage. Back to deuce here, 11-11.
Vince complaining in chat about his hand, and that is so real given this set. You know they are absolutely schmoving at all moments. Oh my god, but this is not going to be nearly as long of a round as Vince manages to get the PC win there, the opener gaming, and that's exactly what you need, especially if you're weak on stamina. But will he be able to maintain it? Or will WestL bring it back to deuce?
Yeah, we'll see what they're bringing to the table. Both players. Oh, WestL needs to downside out of this. This is ridiculous. The misdrops are huge on WestL's board. Vince putting on the pressure, and WestL can't handle it. Vince taking the grand finals for the Tetrio World Championship Group F. Fantastic games from both players, but Vince proving that he is the dominant one for this bracket. Oh my god.
Absolutely insane sets. I was wumbo with those ties. That was crazy. They went back and forth for so long. We had